Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us for another excellent episode of the Connecting Greeks podcast. I am Ari, and I am here with two of my favorite people in the whole world. And we have a third that we will bring in, and he may become our favorite. I don't know yet, but we're going to find out. Before we do bring him on, let me introduce my co-host, Foti Stamos. What's up, Foti?
How are you, Ari? And if I can feed off of that comment you just made, I think this guest is already one of my favorites because what he's doing hits home to a lot of things that I've experienced as a Greek American.
Makes sense. Right? Makes sense. Yeah. So, well, yeah, I mean, let's get into it. But before that, one more guy, my all-time favorite guy, Angelo Tsaroukas. What's up, man?
That was forced the way you said that. It was like
my favorite guy.
Yeah,
Angelo.
Oh, him too. Oh yeah,
no, I never.
Hey guys, how are you today, guys? How's it going?
Good. How are you?
You know what?
We're in summer mode.
We're in summer mode. Everything's chill. We're having drinks. We're having fun. This was the whole idea of this Connecting Greeks is to have fun, and today's no exception to that. It's funny when Forty sent the link up that we were going to talk to our guest today. I've seen his stuff, and 54thirty is a great tool that connects, like you said, Greek Americans, but I think anybody in the diaspora can connect to this stuff.
Absolutely.
And it's a perspective that's unique, and it's really good. And a lot of people are liking it, that's why we want to come and talk to them. Welcome, Yannis Dimoulis. Welcome to Connecting Greeks, Yannis.
Thank you. Happy to be here. How are you guys doing?
Yannis, let me ask you, this has been an explosion since COVID. I was telling the guys this too. Since COVID, it really opened a whole new platform for content people.
Yeah.
Like I do it more in a stand-up form and a separate thing. You're delving into it in a unique way, and I like it. I like your stuff, really do.
Thank you.
And it's interesting to me how do you find now that our generation likely is being more made aware of things now because of social media.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Is it a platform that you wouldn't have had before? Right? Is that fair to say that?
I had started it in 2016 before COVID, but it wasn't until COVID that I fully jumped into it. It was a hobby for the longest time. I started it just before grad school. So I was like, all right, I'm going to graduate and then I'm going to put this aside and I'm going to be working and way too busy for it. But as soon as I graduated, COVID hit. So it actually all timed out.
Nice.
Do you think you would be where you're at if it wasn't for COVID?
Ooh, I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, by the time I graduated, it had become a lot bigger than I anticipated. Whereas at first it was like, let me make some funny t-shirts. Let me make a post here or there. But then before I graduated, I think I had hit 10,000 followers, and that kind of just
that's pretty. That's
kind
good.
It kind of infects you a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, when you have an audience, you have a power. You could get stuff out there. You could business wise, you could sell stuff. You could advertising money, blah blah blah. But it is power to have those numbers. And we've talked to a lot of people over the years, but so many of the content people are like, yeah, we were doing this and it was pretty good, we liked it, but then COVID hit, and then either COVID will destroy everything or it made everything flourish even more. There was almost no in between. So I think a lot of
the boundaries broke down with COVID, and I think people just got to this place of fuck it, I'm gonna act a fool because who's gonna see me anyway? I'm not leaving my house for 3 months or however long.
18 months, Yanni.
A lot of the shame.
Months.
I know. Yeah. A lot of the shame kind of just melted away. I think. I don't know. There's nothing else to worry about.
That's actually an interesting perspective that I don't think have we heard that perspective before? It's almost like Yannis says, I'm not going anywhere. Nobody's going to see me. I'm not going to whatever. So I could just be a complete idiot. And, if people like it, they like it. And they do. But it's it was almost like a lot of people say out of boredom or, they couldn't go anywhere. They couldn't do anything. So they had no choice but to just get everything online. I mean, same thing with this podcast.
Right. I mean, boredom will only take you so far. But a lot of people, a lot of the Greek meme pages started during COVID, but a lot of them didn't show their faces. I think that showing your face and being present and like a lot more vulnerable. I think that's a different level of impact that it must have had on you. Because I didn't show my face before COVID, very rarely.
Oh, interesting. Okay, because I've been somebody who has been posting memes for years and years and years, but never ever would anybody know who is behind that. And then I see people like you and others, and again, this isn't fact. This is just me sitting at home thinking of these things. But I feel like it's more, I don't know the word, endearing, that they see who you are and they could connect with you like more as a person, and therefore it makes like the content that you do better.
Oh, real?
Again, yeah. The way I think, I don't know if this is true or not. I mean, do you find that
was one of my original motivators? Like before COVID, we're talking, like other Greek meme pages that started to sprout up, and I was just, you get to a point where you're like, all right, there's like a handful of jokes we're all reusing. Our tweets all look the same. We're using the same trending memes. Like, what could distinguish someone? All right, like I think it's time to just start showing my face, because no one's gonna replicate that.
But
that's the best. That's actually the best. That's the best thing you could have said.
Yeah.
Because the truth of the matter is you're right. I see people reposting my stuff on TikTok and stuff, which fine. That doesn't matter. But a thing I shot in Athens, Greece, my wife put the clip up 9 years later, and it got 13 million views worldwide.
See?
So it's one of those things where you don't know. And I think you just nailed it on the head, Yanni, when you said you come out with your own perspective so people can't take that, because I've noticed a lot of parody in Greek memes. If one site puts it up, they've done it with our podcast.
Yeah.
We're connecting Greeks. The other guys we love Greeks. It's the same format.
Right.
So, I mean, you're right. There's only so much spanakopita you can cut up on the tapsi, right? See what I did there, Forty? See what I used?
I like it. But I want to also ask Yanni a quick question as far as, going from producing meme page on memes that you're not actually in the actual memes to actually being the character of these memes. Have you taken acting lessons before? Because you seem like a natural. Like the fact that you portray these characters is like right on the money. I mean, the skits that you've done with like the Greek, the Megali of the Mother at church, those memes, I mean, those skits that you've done, or the taxi driver in Greece, like that's like, I wonder, like, have you taken acting before?
No, I've been asked this before. I think a lot of it comes from being an only child and just spending time being very observant throughout my whole life. And believe it or not, I mean, before high school, I was like a mute. I never talked. Wow. I was the shyest person in my family. I was shy around my cousins even. Like,
wow, that's interesting.
So where was that breaking point for you then?
I don't know. I don't remember.
He got a little bit of taste of that internet fame, and he was drunk with it, and he just took it all the way.
Drunk with power.
So Yanni, you made excuse me, you made a lot of the memes really first to sell your merch.
Yeah.
Right, you're doing that, and then you found that someone, you're like, oh, wait a second here, people like this. So are you still how's the merch sales? It must be still good.
They're okay. Whenever I advertise them, I'll make a few sales. I just forget to advertise them. I make enough sales to keep the website running.
Oh, good.
So it's not a burden.
That's the thing.
Just like
people love merch.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to get them hot. Like it's like donuts coming out of the fryer, right? They want them right there and then. They can get them.
The first year I did it was surreal because I started it in before March, end of February. And my first design was the Chicago flag, which is the two blue stripes and the red stars.
Right.
And I just switched the stripes with a Greek key, like the mandro.
Oh, cool.
And then that year, a few months later at the Greek parade, we went out to the Greek bar downtown in Nine Musas, and just seeing a sea of people in Chicago wearing the t-shirt that I designed, half of them not knowing that I had designed it, was like
awesome.
That was
awesome.
That's really cool.
because Chicago has an amazing Greek community.
Yeah.
Very popular. Many times, got a lot of friends. It's one of the great American cities or great cities of the world. And it's funny because Chicago, to me, you can go anywhere in the world, anywhere. There's Greeks. They know someone in Chicago.
Yep.
Doesn't matter where you go for. You go to Kalimnos. You can go here. Chicago,
Well, Angelo, having said that, we should ask Yanni where his roots are from Greece.
Yeah, that's a good question.
My mom is from Kalamata and my dad is from outside of Tripoli, like most of the rest of Chicago.
Yanni's close to me. My dad's from Sparti.
Okay.
I'm right in the middle between the Kalamata and Tripoli, which are great.
Yeah.
You know, these guys are from the islands and they think the sun rises and sets on Kalimno, except for Ari.
My mom is
island.
Which one?
Well,
Peloponiso.
I have to.
My dad's from Peloponnese, my dad's from Afilatra.
There you go.
That's
so we're close too.
The only reason why I'm going to agree with all you guys about Peloponnese is because my wife is from Vonevasia, so I get to spend time there. So yes, I got to agree that besides that I'm a Kalimian, Peloponnesos is fucking amazing.
But I'm pulling you on this one. I want to go to Kalimnos. I've heard nothing but nice things about it.
Same.
If you take all the people out of Kalimno, I heard it's an awesome place.
No, having said that, I'm going to take you on a trip to sponge dive far into the ocean together.
You're going to implode.
Let me ask you, isn't that in Tarpon Springs? They're from Kalimnos, right?
You know where?
They do that. Yeah, they're all from Kalimnotis, right? They're all there in Tarpon Springs.
Oh, really?
Tarpon Springs in Bahamas, believe it or not.
Really? Yes,
Bahamas.
because I met the guy at the Euro shop. We gotta get on. They're from Kalimnos, the two brothers.
You
mean
my
Euro
parents?
shop in Bahamas?
Insane.
That's crazy.
Insane.
My parents could have immigrated to the Bahamas and they chose Chicago.
Yes. There's an active Greek.
You could have been Bahamian.
Listen,
I have 8-month winters.
I don't know, we gotta Google this, but there's an active Greek community, a huge Greek church in Nassau, Bahamas, that hosts one of the largest Greek festivals in the world.
Wow.
That's wild.
Great. No, I know the guys. I work on the ships. I got off. And I told the other comic, if these guys, it said Greek street food. I go, if they're Greek, we'll go. And he said, how do you know if they're Greek? Trust me, I know. As soon as I went in the door, I saw the meaty and the kilia. They're Greek. and the guy goes, how do you know they're Greek? I go, trust me, they're Greek.
It was. So Yanni, basically our next episode with you is going to be in the Bahamas.
Sounds good. All in person.
Excellent.
Doing the Bahamas.
Guys, if you have merch, that sounds like a festival you should set up a booth at.
Absolutely.
In Bahamas, yeah.
Yeah. If it's
I'm jealous of you guys. I'm Carlos, Stamos, Dimoulis. I got the fucking disease name Tsarukas. They can, at least your names, they can say Carlos, Stamos, Dimoulis, my chaka-fakas. They can't fucking spell my name for the life of them still. Muspandanevra, you know?
I was lucky. It was a relatively easy name to pronounce my whole life.
Did you always go by Yanni as a kid?
Yeah.
No, you never changed.
Never Johnny?
Never John, Johnny. Good for you. Good for you.
If anything, close friends will call me John because they think it bothers me, but I don't care.
So Yanni, let me ask you, because in Chicago, you got, Halstead Street, you got the museum, you got all that stuff. Do you find, I don't know if you get influenced, is it from your house? Is it from the community? Is it from going to Greece? Is it just what, like you said, you're an only child? Every family function, you'd be sitting there watching the aunts and uncles fighting. All that stuff. They always do all that stuff. Did you find you get a lot of the source of stuff you get is from there?
It's honestly from everywhere. My immediate family is not that stereotypical. My parents aren't really like the Greek stereotypes. I mean, there's the videos I've done about my dad, and those are pretty accurate. But my theists are a little more stereotypical. Nice. But it's like the big events. It's the Greek nights where I get to observe people, or the weddings, or the fests. That's when Greeks are in their element and they go a little wild and feral.
And did you get to visit summers in Greece during your youth?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
we
Cool.
went
So
early. We went every other year,
every
and then
other-
when I started working, I was like, "What's this? I'm going every year."
Yeah.
for you, good for you. So you got the experience of the cousins and maybe grandparents that maybe were
Yeah.
living there, and the local friends of the neighborhood.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Excellent. Yeah. I mean, I think we
Yeah,
all,
it's
we
no
all,
matter
yeah.
no matter where you're from, no matter what your background, if you're Greek, you're gonna have a similar story. We're all gonna be able to relate.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter, like age, where you are, you rich,
100%.
poor, whatever it is, you're gonna be able to relate. Which I love that about our culture and our ethnicity.
Do,
I had a lot of friends growing up that would like, especially in my 20s, and it was something I had taken for granted, but they would always talk about how jealous they were that I could go to specific bars and locations around the city and know that I would find someone that I could make a connection with. Like
Mm.
guaranteed. I would
Right.
at least know someone, or if not, I'll meet someone and it'll be easy.
Yeah.
I've
Right.
taken it for granted how difficult that is when you don't have that inherent community with you.
Saying that you took it for granted is so accurate, because like growing up, like I thought that everybody could go out and be in a room full of people that they know or have seen before, or are loving the same exact things and the same music.
Right.
It's such a community, and like I always thought that was normal until like I got to college and beyond, and then I started to realize a lot of these people never grew up like this. Like we were lucky. I think
Yeah.
we were lucky.
One of my friends that said that was Russian. Like
Ah,
her
interesting.
parents are Russian immigrants, but the community is just not the same as the way ours is.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
not
we're
here.
more welcoming.
Right.
Russians are too busy scamming credit cards. Oh, did I say that? Sorry.
Oh God.
Send this to your friend.
Dude, have you seen? I'm married to an Armenian. Have you seen Tiene de Los Angeles? It's like, and so you know. Okay, so let me
mean
ask you
Kim
this, Yanni,
Kardashian?
because I'm going to ask you this: when people say the stereotypes with Greeks, we have a built-in radar. If we see a Kobina or a Malaka, we know it's
smell
coming.
it. You smell it.
We smell it
You
miles away.
just
You know
know.
what Greeks? The Greeks will be together. He left us, and you look over. We both thinking the same thing.
We don't.
It's like that I think separates us.
The
I
eye
remember-
movement, the eye movement.
I remember being at the gym once with a friend in college, in undergrad, and I look over and I'm like, those two guys are Greek for sure. And he's like, what are you talking about? I go, those two guys across the gym talking to each other. He goes, how could you possibly know that? And then as soon as we look over, the one guy's going, yeah, that's my people. Trust me.
Those are my
love it.
peeps, man.
I love it.
They're
That's
let's
so
do
funny.
it. Anywhere you go. If Ari's right, anywhere you go, it's like. But it's good. So do you find? So Yanni, when you're coming up with the content, do you get a lot of feedback from people who are followers of yours? Do you find you get a lot of feedback? Do they try to add things to you? I get
Oh,
that
yeah.
a lot with my comedy. So did you find you get that the same thing sometimes? They DM you, or do you just cut them off? But
I have a new policy.
Put him on the spot.
where I don't open notifications that often.
Yeah, that's a
smart.
good. That's a good policy.
I'll post something. I'll interact with it for like an hour, maybe, just to like get that algorithm engagement, whatever.
Yeah.
But after that, I leave the notifications because I'm like, nothing good happens after 10,000 views. Like that's when the weirdos pop up and they're like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you're an idiot.
Freaking
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
Ari.
yeah. I always get Hodro Malaka. They get Mila Mila Selinikar, eh?
Oh,
And
that
that's
was-
just coming. That's just
that
coming
was-
from
that was
Potti.
me. That was
That's
me.
just
That
Potti
was
talking to you, Angelo. Those are the messages you get from Potti.
me.
And that's Monty telling me that.
That was me, like
Stop
on Saturday
talking
night
shit.
after 2 o'clock.
Yeah. After Potti has a few, everybody's gonna hear.
Delete this.
Stop talking shit about Kalimnos. It's the best place in Greece.
Well, I want to ask you, Yanni. You've gotten to a certain level, and that's not an easy thing to achieve. So it's an accomplishment. So once you're at that level, what does that mean for you in the future? Are you gonna like focus and just keep building this as like a focus of yours? Is this gonna be like a side thing that is just whenever you can? Like, oh, what is it? What do you envision for yourself in the future as far as social media is concerned and your content? Like, do you want to someday have like a TV show like based off of this, or do you want to just keep making content? Do you want to do like writing? Like, I don't even know what you went to school for or what your career is, but what do you see?
Early realization, my undergrad was mechanical engineering and my grad school was product design.
Oh, so you're like a real, you have like a real career over there.
It was like a focus on design research, which has actually helped a lot. But one of my early realizations was that regardless of qualifications, the projects and like the things going on that are getting attention are coming from just whoever has the most followers. So that's when I was like, you know what? This started as a hobby, but this platform could be useful someday. Like I could just to have that attention, those eyes on you, and to use it for something hopefully good. I think there's power in that. So I don't see it going away anytime. That's why it's slowly over the years, it's become more about, or it's not over the year. In the last year, it's become more about like events that I want to start doing, fundraisers. Because I've also wondered, like, what is 54thirty without Instagram? Like, it's nothing. I'd like to exist in other platforms as well, in different forms and different spaces.
Well, actually, towards the end of this, we want to get like all the platforms, everything that you're doing. But let me ask you, where did 54thirty come from? What's the name?
That was it's if you Google the distance between Chicago and Athens, it's 5,430 miles.
Whoa.
That's pretty cool.
Nice.
I like that.
I was lucky. It was a nice round number.
I got an idea for a t-shirt.
Patent pending. Patent pending.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, Forty's kidding because he doesn't really have any ideas.
54.
Anyways, look, this has been fun. It's been a lot of fun. Now, before we let you go, Yanni, we do a thing with our guests, and we give it a 40, and 40 has some questions for you. Not that intrusive, but I'll let 40 take it from here.
Thank you, Jessica. But Yanni, before we go to the questions of getting to know Yanni a little more as a Greek American, anything in the pipeline that maybe you can disclose for what you got going on for the future of Yanni and 54thirty? I mean, we follow your page and we love everything you put out. I'm sure that there's a lot of planning in behind the scenes that has to get done to produce these clips that we enjoy, that are whatever they are, less than a minute or two, or longer than that. But anything in the pipeline for you? That's
big thing that I'm exploring whenever I have free time is I'm trying to learn how to harness AI tools a little better. In the way that, like, finding that hybrid between things I create and then just, using AI as a stylizer, or as like just to embellish something I've already made. And in terms of bigger projects, every year I do a toy drive in December that gives it to the hospital that I had stayed at, because I had leukemia when I was younger.
That's very cool.
Good for you, brother. That's great.
Every year it's gotten a little bigger, but this year we have a lot of big plans for it.
Use your power for good. That's it.
And having said that, the same token, any plans for Yanni to do any in-person events? So you have any thoughts about performing in person?
I've never performed in person, aside from like I have no public speaking issues, which I learned through grad school presenting projects every few months. But
okay, just throwing that out there. You never know. You never know.
One of the biggest lessons I've had since starting this is to not have any expectations.
Yeah.
Good way.
That's a healthy way to think about it.
I've never restricted any possibility, because it's already
you never know. You never know what's going to come up.
Yeah.
You never know who's going to see something and trigger an idea. You never know. I mean, that goes for all of us. Everything that we do, you never know. So just keep doing the best thing you can do and ride the wave.
Excellent. All right, Yanni. This is great. We have a series of questions for you that I'm going to ask. Get to know you a little better. And then, we'll wrap it up with some nice ending notes. But Dimoulis, right?
Yeah.
Any relation to the Dimoulis family in Massachusetts that owns 150 supermarkets that you might be a part of?
No.
No?
I wish.
Okay, just wanted to ask.
He's looking for a contact.
Just
Yeah,
wanted
that's
to-
fine.
Just wanted to ask. All right, thank you. So
Potential
Yanni,
sponsors.
as Yanni Dimoulis, are you an Uzo or Tsipro drinker?
Tsipuro.
Tsipro. Giro or Souvlaki?
Ah. Souvlaki me pita. Is that
Excellent.
Yeah,
a
good
cop
one.
out?
All right. Octapodi or calamari?
Why not both?
Yeah, I
Stop
don't know
it.
why these are ours. Octapodi.
Octapodi. Frappe or Fredo?
Fredo.
Okay. Excellent. Now,
It's the hard hitting questions.
Yeah,
Right.
he's going deep.
going deep. How about this? How about as growing up as a Greek American with Greek parents, we grew up with our parents being very distinct in their sayings and the words that they let us to give us this guilt trip about how we behave. Any Greek sayings that that you've grown up with that still stick with you today that you can share with us, like
That's a
any
good one.
sayings that your parents have constantly like bombarded in your head? Like for me, it was, when you leave the house, tamatyasu, dekatesera, or, there's these sayings about, the superstition about, our culture that still sticks with us today that I think indirectly still live with.
Mhm.
Is there anything maybe that,
If
and
I
in
really,
skits, I think you've used them in some of your skits.
if I really want to piss off my mom,
Yes.
I will cheers her with coffee.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Furious.
Yeah. The gato de baile do garizato.
No, saying that, Yanni, this is weird. This is a Colombian thing, but now that you said that piss off our parents, we're not allowed to chew gum at night.
No, I don't have that one.
All right. So I was like, what's
I
the
don't think
deal
I've
with
heard
this?
that one either.
So the
I've
reason
read it,
we
but
don't-
we never did that.
so we didn't chew gum at night because when you chew gum at night, it was also the example of, you're chewing skeletons of the dead. This is a
Mhm.
Colombian thing.
What?
I've read
Mastica,
about
the resin from the gum, that's what they chew for gum. So it was like when you chewed mastica, it was really hard and brittle and white. So for some reason, they said you're not allowed to chew gum at night. So
Is
I
it
would-
why is it different during the day?
I don't know. It was at night. So to piss my mom off, I would do it at night. And the reason why don't we think about it?
He just pointed out a plot hole in your whole thing there. Like, well, what
Yeah.
difference does it make at night or in the day?
I'm gonna
Yeah,
go to
because
Carino
it's
this
night.
summer.
Because when I question that, I got a slap off the top of my head. So that was the answer.
Is the answer,
You can't
actually.
question tradition. You can't question our customs to our parents or our grandparents. But Yanni, having said that, the last thing I was going to leave you off with, and we didn't mention, we're very dramatic people as Greeks. We love drama. We live by it. We produce content based on drama, but we're also very superstitious people. And as a creator, do you still live by any superstition that you can share with us?
Ooh.
Is there things that you don't do? Do you have a ritual when you wake up or go to sleep that maybe,
or before you start filming something, like how
Yes.
athletes will have they'll have to wear the same underwear for every winning team or
Oh, these are good. The one I do, there's a few actually,
okay,
that have just stuck with me subconsciously. I find that I have to wear red underwear New Year's Eve parties.
there you go.
Okay, there you go.
that's
I have
funny.
to,
So it's not just Ari.
I have to post on a round number. If I'm posting, it has to be
Okay.
I'll wait for 8:30, and if I miss it, I'm gonna wait till 9.
That's so funny.
I love it.
That's
I
so
love
funny.
it.
That's
I love it.
awesome.
Well, thank you for answering those questions because now we got to know you a little more, Yanni.
Well,
yeah.
again, before we wrap anything up, can you tell? Obviously, your Instagram famous. Are you on any other platforms? And what are your handles and your website? Anything like that?
I do most of the videos are on Instagram are also on TikTok. The ones that do well on one platform do poorly on the other, and vice versa.
That's interesting.
I had tried to break into YouTube before COVID, and I was doing interviews, like I was doing like the car interview format.
Right.
I had a couple good episodes that did pretty well, but then I never did it again. So maybe someday I'll bring that back.
Yeah. I mean, if you got the
Great.
content, you might as well make use of whatever platforms are there. I say that, but it's like it's so much more than that. It's like it's like a full-time job.
I need to hire an editor if I'm ever going to do
Yeah.
that.
I got a quick
do
question
it
for
all.
Yanni before we wrap it up. Do you get contacted by other creators to collaborate?
I like collaborating. Yeah.
I'm sure there's so many creators that are out there.
Yeah. And we
Wait,
all,
didn't we have the girl who I think
with Ariana, I've made a lot of
yeah,
videos.
You're friends
Yeah.
with her, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's really cool.
We're meeting up this summer and we're already like, all right, we got to plan content. So when we're together, we can be efficient and hang out, but also make a couple videos.
She's great.
That's awesome.
We had
Yeah.
her on a few weeks ago. I saw her. You saw we did. She's great.
Yeah.
She's
I think-
Johnny on the spot. She's very, very, very
I
talented.
think
She's great.
Angela, maybe Angela, you can put together like the first ever Greek influencer content creator festival.
Like the Greek.
That's not a bad idea, man. I'd host it big time.
Do it.
The
You heard it first on Connecting Greeks.
they had VidCon last week. We gotta have our own now.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Absolutely.
That's good. That's right. They did have that.
Well, Yanni, it's been a pleasure. We really appreciate you taking the time. We're gonna put all your links in our podcast notes and the video notes.
I appreciate it.
And we just want to say thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for taking the time. It was a pleasure.
Thank you guys. It was fun.
Thank you.
Likewise.
And-
Yeah. Thanks, Yanni.
This won't be the first time or the last time.
Angela, should we meet up when you're here?
Yes, I'm gonna. Let me know what show you want to come to. Send me a message. I'll put you on the guest list.
Thank you. I'll figure out. I gotta see.
Let
what's
me
going
know,
on.
Yanni, and I'll see when I'm in Chi-Town.
Look, we're connecting Greeks here, people. We're
See the
connecting them.
connections?
That's where the name comes from.
That's where Kacho connecting Greeks.
That's a
Well,
thinker.
thanks again, Yanni.
The man, the
Thank you,
man.
Thank you, Foti.
Yanni,
Thank you,
Nasakala.
Angelo.
Bye, guys.
We
Bye,
want to thank
everyone.
everybody out there for watching and listening. We will see you next time and have a great
Summer.
till we see you
Great
again.
summer.
Bye bye, everyone.
Bye,
care,
guys. Bye, bye.
Bye-bye. Cheers.